everyone. I'm Terry Rapley, new self-appointed title, child of God, heir to the throne. And I am fortunate enough to be able to spend a little time getting to know Dawn. We're having Taco Tuesdays. I went and got some tacos from Coloca's. What's awesome about that is she totally knew. She's like, "Oh, you're from the Vineyard?" I was like, "Yes."
See?
Yes, I am.
To support local.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, thank you. Hey, first of all, how do you feel about this?
It's kind of interesting. The roles are reversed, where you're going to be interviewing me, and she's not allowing me to know what she's going to ask either. Usually, I give people a heads up.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
just to be
you
kind.
guys didn't give me. Oh, you do, but Luke doesn't.
I don't think Luke does, but I do.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't get it. It's a little late, but are there questions that are off the table?
No.
Okay, good.
We'll see.
You're free to say I'm not comfortable with that, but it'd be embarrassing because we are.
We'll edit that part.
Yeah. No, I love this. The reason that I wanted to do this is to kind of get to know you guys. You guys are leaders, and you share so much of who you are when you're preaching and when you're up there, but we don't really get to ask questions about you as people, as human beings, and that's actually why I wanted to do this.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
First things first, this is going to be an easy question.
Okay.
If you were an animal, which animal would you be?
Okay.
And why?
And why? All right.
Yeah.
Which animal? My favorite animal growing up was a hippo.
Oh. Okay.
So that's surprising. I used to collect hippos, like my entire floor, and I'm very orderly and like neat. I used to be before we had 5 kids, but I had hippos all around my bedroom, stuffed animals, and they covered. I just love. They're dangerous. They are life-threatening. Like they're the cutest, fattest, noisiest animals. You know, like they're deceiving. Like you think that they're but they're the wild horses of the sea, and I love horses too. So hippos, that would be it. And it's surprising like how powerful they are, even though they seem like they're just like fat and huge and no purpose.
I like it.
Yeah.
I've never ever heard anyone say hippos.
Yeah.
So do you still like them?
I do. Yeah. I have one hippo in our kitchen with a plant growing out of it. Yeah. But I think that's why I love English bulldogs, because they remind me a lot of hippos.
Oh, okay.
And those are one of my favorite dogs.
Super interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you what brought you to the Vineyard, because we know a lot of that story, but based on our mission of knowing Jesus and making him known, if you could say one thing that you want people to know about Jesus, what would that be?
Okay.
I know that's hard, but only one.
So one thing that I want people to know about Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the one thing that speaks to me most about Jesus is he has grace.
Oh.
And I'm like Luke was talking on Sunday about grace, you know, like that's a part of the message that I got. And so, and I'm always like grace, maybe to a default, you know, but we're human and we mess up, and Jesus is always there. Like, so, and that's one thing why I love the Vineyard also, is because one of our mission statements is come as you are. Don't stay where you're at, like continually to change and continually to grow. But there's grace in that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. How would you explain that to someone? You're telling someone, hey, this is what I want you to know about Jesus, but then grace in and of itself. How would you explain that to someone?
I think, and I do share that I'm better on one-on-one conversations. I'm an introvert, and a lot of people know that about me. I can turn on to an omnivert, but I tend to be more comfortable behind the scenes. So in one-on-one conversations or like smaller group settings. And So describing that to someone or sharing,
Grace. Yeah.
sharing grace with them is that, hey, like, I am human. I mess up a lot. And I think it's important that people who are, standing on stage, that people know that you're a real person. Like, I'm a mom. I mess up with my kids all the time. I mess up with my husband. Luke and I do not have the best marriage. It's a lot of work. And so I feel like me sharing and being vulnerable with others shows that, God has grace on me. So I think it's better, like, it's just, I show it more because I'm very, I'm very vulnerable with people, and where I'm at, if I'm having a bad day or not.
Do you have bad days?
Yes, I do.
You do. I've never seen it ever. Not once.
There's been times where you're like, how are you doing? And you'll like give me that stare, like, how are you really doing? And I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of leads into another question I was curious about. Because you guys are pastors, is there something that I don't really know how to word this question, but that you wish people wouldn't assume about you as a pastor? Because that's an interesting role to play in the church and be a human and a Christian at the exact same time. Does that question make sense?
It does make sense. I honestly have never, being a pastor at the church, there has been some times where people with their traditions, they'll call me the pastor's wife.
Oh.
And it never really bothered me, but I know that it bothers other people. I'm a peacemaker, and I avoid conflict at all costs. So I've never felt pressure to live up to a certain title, I guess.
Oh,
that kind of makes sense.
Actually it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people, because Luke and I are so transparent with our lives and stuff like that, even with one-on-one conversations, I feel like I've never felt pressure to be like the pastor's wife or the pastor. Like, you live it out, and we're human,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to elaborate on anything else.
No, I like it. And I actually thank you for sharing it the way you did, because I think you guys do live that out, and you guys are approachable, and from a leadership standpoint specifically, I draw on that a little bit. So it gives me, not that you guys give me permission, but it gives me permission to be vulnerable as well, based on who you guys are.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Yeah. I think also it brings to mind, like, I grew up in the church, and I felt, even as a teenager, I didn't even know if I knew my pastor's wife knew my name and knew a little bit about me, because she had to have meetings with me because I was kind of rebellious. She was always questioning things and praying for me, but I felt like our lead pastor didn't even know my name or know anything about me. So that kind of stuck with me. And even through mine and Luke's journey of marriage and like figuring out, our calling together, and that was key, like us doing it together.
Oh, okay.
But me finding my identity in that, because Luke is so extroverted and everyone wants to be on his team and stuff. And whereas when I was younger, I struggled with that as his wife. Like, well, where's my fit, in the church, or and so leading back to my statement is, I want people and kids.
One moment, please.
Timer. I want kids and teens to know that Luke and I are approachable, and that they can come and talk to us about anything, and women and men, and people in marriage and kids. Yeah. If your kids are having troubles or whatever, I want to be approachable.
Oh, yeah. There's so many other questions I want to ask you. However, what's God doing in your life right now?
Okay. So I feel like what God's doing in my life right now, it's kind of interesting. I on the side of what, you know, Luke and I are pastors here. We started breeding English bulldogs too, and I love animals. I probably should have been a vet, you know, if I enjoyed school that much, but I didn't. I didn't like school that much. So, in that kind of line of field, it's all customer service. And so I feel like, and it's hearing people's stories, like people that are like in love with their pets and part of their families, like you have to sit and you have to listen to their life stories. And so I feel like me getting to build relationships through my dog business.
Oh, okay.
And like me sharing with them, yeah, my husband and I are also pastors, and it builds some trust there and stuff. So I feel like what God's doing in my life right now, because I'm home no more with our puppies, is our neighbors. Like I am constantly helping our neighbors and talking with them, and they're getting to know us better. We've lived in this house for 3 years now, and that's a big passion of mine is letting our neighbors know that, you know, like that we're trustworthy, and that and just building that relationship. So I feel like one-on-one conversations, getting to know the people who don't attend our church already, you know, and getting to know them and just speaking into their lives and listening.
Oh, I love it. That's so interesting. It's amazing how God can use you through bulldogs and raising puppies. I mean, you never underestimate the God we serve. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there anything that you want people to know about you that we didn't discuss already? Okay. I think you're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not alone in that. Know that. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I know I'm supposed to like do something embarrassing, like watch people eat embarrassingly. I'm not super comfortable with that.
We can take a bite together. Oh, she's got a fork.
Yeah, let's take a bite together. Okay. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, you did a great job interviewing.
Thank you.